All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 508 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And today, we're going to talk some Georgia Southern football. It's, really nice to hear about some, good news. And with Damar Hamlin, he is responsive and he's pretty much on his way back to recovery. So, hopefully everything will continue to be on the up and up. It's a very good, it looks like it's going to be a very good ending to that tragedy that happened on the field, that Monday Night Football game. It was just horrific, and it looked like everything is on the up and up. So hopefully, thoughts and prayers continue with him and his family, and I just hope and pray for a fantastic, wonderful recovery, even if he plays football or not. It just doesn't matter at this point. Just hopefully he's able to recover and be a functional, a person once again, just like his old self. So that's just awesome to see. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Like I said, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And the last episode, we talked about the Falcons possibly moving, on to the end of the regular season with a win. Hopefully they perform to the highest level. It's not necessarily about wins or losses, just see who can perform and who wants to be on the roster next year. Hopefully they'll catch the coaches or somebody on the staff eye and try to get paid with all that salary cap that's going to be that the new salary cap space that we're going to have for the team. So hopefully that works out. But speaking of next year, Georgia Southern opponents have been revealed for the 2023 season, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty rough going for Georgia Southern. But with the talent that we're bringing in, I think we're going to be up to the challenge. There's no doubt in my mind that we're going to be ready to go with Coach Clay Helton and company, bringing the talent in, get those guys ready for spring practice, and going into the next season ready to go. So we're going to talk about these opponents, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on them, and we're just going to go from there. Before I get started, click that link down in the description. I say it all the time, and it's so beneficial, in my opinion, to you and to me. Click that link down there. Bet US, put down $100, and then you'll get 125% bet book bonus, and you'll be able to put down wagers on a lot of these games that are going on when it comes to the NFL, the end of the regular season. The NBA is going on, MMA. I think they even do boxing, esports, even college football, obviously. That's what I'm talking about now. And, they do a little bit of everything. And it's not just the games itself. You could do it on players, the quarter of a game, a half of a game, 3/4 of a game, a half for a player performance. It doesn't matter. They have a lot of ways you can put down wages on these games or individuals. $100, man. Put that $100 down to get 125% bet book bonus. It helps out the channel. And hopefully you will be able to, get some get back on the wages that you put down. Just be responsible when you're playing, and everything will go well. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. 2023 opponents for Georgia Southern. We are looking at some pretty nice opponents, but that away schedule is going to be pretty tough. The ones that are out of conference, we're going to talk about them first, and we're going to start off with the Citadel. We played them on September 2nd. The special team coach came from Citadel, so that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that plays out. But the Citadel will come to Paulson, followed behind UAB. We're going to get some get back from the game that they got on us. They ran the ball very well against us. Hopefully we can tighten that up. If we tighten that up and if we have the quarterback that I think that's going to start, Davis Brin, if he's going to start, I think that we're going to be all right, in pretty good hands. The power of Paulson is probably going to be there. I ain't going to say probably. It will be there to get these guys riled up and ready to go and, take out UAB. Obviously, take them out as far as having more points on the scoreboard than them. And let's get some get back from that game last year. I mean, that game looked worse than what it was. And that'll be really can't wait to see how that goes. In September 16th, we are going up to Wisconsin. And that, I don't know how to read this game so far. I haven't studied what Wisconsin got going on. I know they got a couple of transfers coming in. I know they had one guy from Temple just decided to transfer from Temple to Wisconsin. and I think SMU quarterback is going to be at Wisconsin as well. So we may have our hands full with Wisconsin. It's probably going to be pretty similar to the Nebraska game. Hopefully, we'll be able to walk away with, taking out the Badgers like we took out the Cornhuskers. And obviously, we have another out of conference game where we play Ball State. We are going to Ball State. I think it's Muncie, Indiana. We're going up to them on the 23rd of September. So we beat Ball State last year. It was one of the, pretty cool games that was, that was good to watch because, out of the 6 and 7 season we had, this was one of the shining moments that we had when we played Ball State. And it was a pretty solid win. So hopefully we'll get that and play them again. I think the quarterback, Lane Hatcher, I think he's moved to Ball State now. So we're going to be facing him. He's from Texas State. He played at Texas State last year. So it's going to be somewhat of a familiar guy that we've seen before. Speaking of Texas State, there's one of the opponents that we're playing on the West. And we're going to be playing Texas State. And I think we're playing Arkansas. No, not Arkansas State. We're playing ULM as well. So that's going to be the two, I think those the two West teams that we're going to be playing. And that's going to be pretty neat when you look at all the out of conference and the other guys that we're going to be playing as far as, the opponents, out of conference looks pretty solid. Playing Texas State and ULM, I think those are going to be pretty decent games that we can win as well. So I've seen on Twitter already some people saying that we could possibly go undefeated. Seen some people that are saying that we can go at least 8-4. I'm not going to put anything out there yet. Last year I said 8-4. We had every opportunity to be 8-4 and then some, especially at the point we were 5-3 with 3 home games left. We had a chance to do it, but we didn't. So I'm not going to put anything out there yet until I know everything that's going to be in place of like who's going to be on the team, what we're looking like. I'm going to look at other teams that we're playing against, and then I'll let you guys know what my gut feeling is going to be because I'm looking at some of these games already. I think we're going to be able to beat the Chanticleers at home. Georgia State, I'm tired of losing to them, so hopefully we could beat them as well. For some reason, they just have our number, but with the talent that we're bringing in, we should be okay. Old Dominion was a game that we won as well. They're coming to Paulson. I think we can get that one as well. The only home game I'm really worried about is that UAB game. And somewhat I'm worried about that the Georgia State game. Because Georgia State just finds a way to beat us at times. They got a winning record on us and they hang their hat on that. I mean, they hang their hat on that more than they actually hang their hat on actually winning bowl games. But that's another story for another day. And the Chanticleers, I'm not so sure about them. And I don't think they're going to be the same team that they were the last few years. Grayson McCall may come back, but I just don't see where that's going to go. So the home schedule, it looks really good. Like I said, really, the Georgia State game, because they're a nuisance, but that UAB game is the one I'm really worried about. Not so much of the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. When you go to the away games, now, we're going back up to Kid Brewer Stadium to play Appalachian State. We know that we could beat Appalachian State at home. It's a formidable rivalry full of respect, and we can beat those teams. We can beat that team at any given time, and vice versa. I don't know what Appalachian State is going through. I think that they always find a way to get good talent, and the coaching there is not where it used to be, but they're going to be formidable. That's going to be a dogfight playing them. It is what it is. And when you go play, going up to James Madison to play them, that's going to be a very tough game because James Madison Stadium is a beautiful looking stadium for a team that was just in the FCS. They turn right back around and put something, together like a stadium like that. It just goes to show you that FCS programs do have, prestigious, and beautiful looking stadiums. I mean, don't get it twisted. That place is probably going to be rocking, especially after we knocked them out of the top 25 last year. They're going to be looking for some revenge. I don't know what talent they have there. I don't know. I think Centero is gone now, so I don't know who their quarterback is now. But they always had a formidable team. We just was able to put numbers up and beat them. Hopefully we could do that again. Now, the Marshall game, this is probably one of the teams that are coming back into the Sunbelt that I know that's going to be a pure reload. Kind of like us. We lost some players, but we're bringing some transfers in. Marshall just has that program that they constantly keep talent. So that's going to be a tough game going up to West Virginia to play those guys. I don't know if we make it out of that stadium with the W. Now I'm dead serious. That's one game that I'm looking at all of this between that and maybe the Wisconsin game, which I'm gonna study that one a little bit more because I think we can beat Wisconsin. But this game right here is the game that I feel like 100% we're probably going to lose. I don't know what it is. It's just that's my gut feeling. Maybe that we could turn it around. Got a phone call right there. Sorry about that. I'll answer that when the show's over. But I feel like this game is the one that we're going to lose. So I'm really kind of worried about that. So I will, maybe it'll change, but right now that's going to be an L for us. When it comes to Texas State, we're going down to San Marcos, Texas. I think we're going to win that game. I'm not going to have I'm not worried about that game too much. I think this is one of the games that we're going to really, pretty much have a pretty good time there. That's going to be a really good situation for us where we'll go down there and handle business. And the other game that we have that you see on the screen here is the Wisconsin game. Like I said, I don't know. That may be a loss as well because it's Wisconsin playing at Wisconsin. Just don't know what's going to go with that. But I think we can probably shock the world with that one, just like how we did, Nebraska. I think we could put an L in Wisconsin, wherever that is, So I think that's going to be a game where we'll probably be able to fare a lot better than I think. But it's something about that particular game against Marshall. I don't know what it is, but as soon as I started talking about that on this show, it just the gut feeling just told me, that's the game we're probably going to lose. But all the other games, I think every other game on here is pretty much winnable. If I was to say what other game, it's probably the Wisconsin game. I think the power of Paulson will overtake UAB. I think the power of Paulson will overtake Georgia State. It is definitely needed and warranted. The Chanticleers are not who they are. As of right now, maybe that will change. But even then, Grayson McCall comes back. I think our team is going to be good enough to actually hang with that team. And we did last year. We were, 1 or 2 stops away of winning that game. It basically the game ended up, on the last drive of the game, really. So we have a shot there. And when I look at these other games, JMU, same thing, power of Paulson, but in reverse. The power of their stadium may overwhelm us because they look like, that's a powerful school. And that team in that program thrives on football, and it may be a little bit too much on us, but I think we can do that. Ball State, I'm not too worried about them. And Appalachian State is always a dogfight. So gut feeling, the Marshall game is the one that bothers me the most. It kind of gives me the same vibes of the UAB game last year where I felt like I knew 100% was going to lose UAB. I never really thought that we were. I had us beating Nebraska over UAB, and it kind of get the same feeling here. We beat Wisconsin, but probably lose to Marshall. Everything else is on the table, and I think that we'll probably end up with a 2-loss season. But I will discuss that at a later time. I will give my thoughts and opinions once everything else is evaluated. So we'll go from there. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. 2023 opponents. What do you like? What do you dislike? Is any team on here that really scares you? Is any team that gives you a cause for concern? Is there any team on here that you're like laughing like, I can't believe we're going to play them and we're going to beat them and take them out by 40 points? What are your thoughts? Let me know. I am on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. I'm also, all my links are down in the description if you want to find me on Twitter or any other type of social media where I don't get to talk about stuff on this show. I usually talk about it on that avenue, so check me out. Click that link down in the description for BetUS. 125% bet book bonus when you put down at least $100. And hopefully you guys will continue to enjoy it. We're going into the weekend. It is Friday. Enjoy the weekend. I'll be putting up more content on the YouTube side of things. Check me out over there. And I'll see you on the next time. All right, guys, you enjoy your weekend and y'all be blessed. Peace.